Gym Dad Fitness. Today we got the product weigh-in and taste test of BH2K by Unmatched supplements. Be hard to kill. Very excited for this one. This is a Kris Gethin'S product, as you've seen from my thumbnail for this video, of his new line, and I want to see what this is all about because Kris Gethin'S has been known to never use artificial sweeteners and no artificial dyes, things like that. So let's see if this thing actually lives up to the taste. He swears, I watched his intro video on this thing, it'll be the best tasting non-artificial pre you've ever had. But we have pink lemonade. It's a fresh container. I've already shook this thing up pretty well. As Uncle Eddie always advises us, but this thing feels a little clumpy. But not too bad. No, not bad at all. I'll take that. We are dealing with, for a pre-workout like this, like I normally wouldn't weigh it out because this is a high-end product, pure ingredient. This is a health pre-workout. This isn't a stim junkie pre-workout whatsoever. I mean, he's been known, his stuff though is hardcore. So a product like this, I'm normally not going to weigh it, just because this isn't some bathtub pre-workout. This is something that was made in high-quality facilities. If you follow Kris on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, you know that he's very holistic and naturalistic, and so I trust him to the full stability of my knowledge of what he puts in these products. So this is actually a bit at the same time, this thing's clumping like crazy, so probably a good thing we got a scale going on here. So we got one scoop is going to get us 20.2 grams. We got 25, it is clumps. So definitely you actually are going to want to get a scale out for this one, because these clumps make it tough to gauge. You got a few craters in here. There's 21. Might have to go up to like 23 or something. You got to be on pretty like this. We'd rather be on the high end. We're not going to be in danger. All right, perfect. 23 there. All right, let me mix it up. Let you guys know how it tastes. Like I said, no artificial colors, so kind of like a brown mix in there. We'll break into the label sometime. Dude, this is a pretty juiced up label too, so it could be tough to mask some of these colors in here, especially because it's got so many performance matrix. And I'm really excited for this one. I've had my eye on this line since it was released. It's definitely on the higher end on the price scale, so you got to have the budget on hand. That was kind of what kept me away. I remember I was on my phone on the launch date, like had a few carts ready to go, and then just didn't pull the trigger. No, that's damn good. For a pink lemonade, I'm not a huge lemonade fan, but not much of a bitter aftertaste. Oh, it's really good. It's not like overly sweet either. Yeah, they nailed it. There's like a very slight bitter aftertaste with it, but like it kind of like that's lemonade for you. It reminds me of like a lemonade shake up at like the fairgrounds, where like, you know, the person didn't quite sugar it up just quite. It looks like it could probably be about 10% sweeter to erase that aftertaste. But you know, he's not using sucrose. I think we got stevia in this thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, stevia is it's all stevia sweetened, and then beetroot powder for coloring. So the fact that he uses nothing else besides stevia, I definitely enjoy this one. It's like you can tell with the aftertaste that there's something there's some pump product in there that's coming through, that's masking it with the bitter. But I think the fact that it was a lemonade flavor kind of makes it seem a little more authentic. It's like lemons are bitter as hell, and so one of those, that's why I'm going with the shake up at the fair. But anyway, that was the most intense flavor breakdown we've ever had, and that will be the longest one we ever do, just because this is an all natural product with no sweeteners, no dyes. So I do want to give a little bit of a breakdown and shout out to Unmatched supplements for nailing it with that one. But anyway, I'll get to the effects. Gym Dad Fitness. Today with me, we have Unmatched Supplements BH2K. Before we get rolling with this review, everyone like and subscribe would be awesome if you guys could support the channel. Helps things keep growing and helps people, get to view my content and allow me to connect with more viewers. So I'd appreciate the time and doing that real quick. But this one right here, before we roll into this thing, I got to give you a quick little background on me and my connection with Kris Gethin'S and his product lines. So when I first started training, seriously, I mean, obviously I lived in high school for sports and stuff like that, but early in college, started watching the bodybuilding.com. I feel like a lot of us started off on those forums, and they also posted videos and workout tips and things like that. And Kris was someone that worked at the company at the time, and he had a lot of workout videos. And um, I love the way that like you followed along, and there was like daily videos and planning that went into it with like meals, and it was just really cool. They had an awesome setup. And then it went to YouTube, and that's what actually got me on the YouTube platform and utilizing that for fitness, and that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of supplement reviews and stuff. So I feel like that is kind of what got me rolling on everything YouTube wise. But I do all of his planners back in the day, and I remember doing the one when he was, I think it was like 12 weeks or 4 weeks to shred. Project I don't, something about shredding and putting on mass while still getting lean. And anyway, he was in India when he trained there, and I remember he was trying out the Cage Muscle products, and it was just really cool. Got you fired up to try his new brand. And then he was a huge Cage Muscle supporter for a while before I hit my Stim Junkie time period, my Stim Junkie era for you Taylor Swift fans out there. But we have a Pre-Kaged like all over the board here. Used a lot of his products and throughout the years, and then Kris separated from Pre-Kaged a few years back. You guys could look into the detail, but long or the short of it is more a difference of opinions. I think Kris wanted to focus in on a few product lines and keep things all natural and 100% organic, flavoring systems, and no artificials whatsoever. And Cage wanted to still include some of those items and kind of diversify their product line and expand it, and even and amplify their ingredients and pre's and stuff like that. And so they parted ways, and then Kris was kind of like out of the supplement realm, still in the fitness industry, had a lot of videos out there like biohacking and things like that. And then him and Doug Martin teamed up together to form the Unmatched Supplements. And this brand launched a few months back. I think it was in the summer sometime. I remember I signed up for the launch date notification. I never quite pulled the trigger. His product line, this thing right here, it's $60, and that's with before any discounts or anything like that. But it's top. Everything there is premium quality, top notch. So you're gonna be paying a little extra penny for it. So when I finally got the chance to acquire the BH2K, when I started doing these reviews, it's like I got to give this one a try, see how it stacks up versus the Cage Muscle product. And I wanted to originally do like a head versus head-to-head one, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult after trying this pre-workout and seeing what this animal is. It's like a whole different beast and a whole different style. So I'm just gonna flat out review this one alone because it's got so much to talk about. But BH2K. Let's get into the label breakdown on this now. So we got one scoop at 20.2 grams. Serving size per container, 20 grams. So it's on the lower edge of the dosage, but let me just get into what all we got in here. We have, let's get the vitamin basics going down here first. We have vitamin B6 at 600 micrograms, folate 105 micrograms, and then vitamin B12 1.5 micrograms there. And then we get into the performance breakdown here. And the very first ingredient to kick this thing off is a 3D pump. And we've seen this kind of pump out product. This 3D pump come out in a few products so far, and this is a breakdown of immediately your eyes are going to go to citrulline and the glycerol. You're like, okay, it's just a citrulline glycerol like little mix comboed together with a fancy name 3D pump, but it's got this amyla in there as well.
It's a fruit extract, and it's supposed to help with ATP production, blood flow to the to your muscles. And the main thing I felt with the Milo's fruit extract, and I watched a few videos on this too to see if there's any logic behind it. But I felt like insanely like vascular on it, more than like a normal citrulline glycerol combo. So I got done taking this. I'm like, what kind of nitrates are in this thing? Because I was vascular as could be when I took this product. And yeah, apparently the Amilo fruit extract has some benefits for getting some vein action and getting some blood flow going. I mean, it all makes sense when you kind of read the background on that. So I'm going to delve a little bit more into the ingredients with this one more than any other label, because we got a lot of scientific, high, big brain stuff going on here. So if I butcher any words and stuff like that, just bear with me. And then we got tyrosine at 2,000 milligrams. That's going to help with focus. And then we have carnitine. Kris is a big fan of carnitine. I feel like a lot of his products have this in there. I know it's like his fat burner, stimulant-free one was a big advocate of the carnitine. And this is going to help utilize fat storages for energy. And so this is going to help with energy, and it's got slight little cognition function assistance in it as well. And actually skipped over one of the ingredients on here after one of the really important ones to talk about here is creatine. And this is a creatine monohydrate blend with guanidinic acid. And this is another one. I've gotten real scientific for this, but I delved in, did my research on this, and it's very interesting. It's a one-to-one mix of these guanidinic acid and creatine, and it's supposed to help the creatine absorb better in the body. They claim up to 8 times more effective. And it also, one of the really interesting research that was done on this is it helps the creatine cross the blood-brain barrier, which creatine can help with the cognition function. And damn near everyone should be taking creatine. It's got this reputation of being some sort of meathead supplement. Like, even, I mean, people in nursing homes need to be taking it more than anyone. It should be in every person's multivitamin. But creatine with this guanidinic acid has some really interesting research on it. And I actually ended up acquiring a box of I'll do a review on it by itself, the creatine stuff. But I just got it. Kris sells a creatine product that's got a mix of other things in it. But I just bought the straight creatine one off Amazon. And to see it's got a bunch of these little packs. And what's kind of cool, I never really realized makes sense though when I was doing my research on this, that creatine loses its properties over time in like exposure to air. And I feel like a lot of times I end up buying creatine like off in like clearance or off like a supplement site for like that's expired. So I'm like, damn, I guess a lot of the creatine I've been taking probably is the percentage of actual creatine in it has been broken down some. So I'm sure that some of that expired stuff's been exposed to some serious air and been in that container for a while. So these are individually packed in like sachets, and I got the orange flavor. I'll do a review on that one. I mean, why not get orange, but and get some sort of flavor? But it's got this creatine in it. That so very interesting little addition there. And it's not expensive, but not cheap. So we already, I mean, just so far we know this thing has got some serious patented ingredients going on. And then the next thing is this paraxanthine. And if any of you guys have seen Muscle Tech had one, I think TJ from Fitness Deals News reviewed it, the Euphoria. They're the first ones to put it in a pre, but paraxanthine is this new form of caffeine. Paraxanthine is broken down. So when the body intakes caffeine, it breaks it down to 3 different lines. It's paraxanthine is one of the ones that it breaks it down to. I think another one was theobromine, and I can't remember the third chemical it's broken down to. But I actually snatched update. This is one of the first places that had like the paraxanthine in it, because I was like, man, I got to give this. I've never had a pre lead to like making so much other purchases, because once I started delving in and doing the research, I'm like, I got to try this in the morning. I like to have a little bit of caffeine when I wake up just to kind of get things rolling, but not get too crazy, because I want to save my caffeine intake for my pre. But paraxanthine is supposed to have all the benefits of caffeine without the drama, without the anxiety, without the nervousness. And some people don't respond to caffeine very well, and it doesn't digest well, and therefore they only receive the negatives and never get any of the good stuff. And paraxanthine is supposed to be equal for everyone. And I've kind of take it. I've doing my watching videos on this stuff. Is some people digest caffeine really, really fast, like within the first hour, and so therefore they receive none of the paraxanthine because it's literally in and out of their system. And then some people digest it really slow, like almost like they almost get a trickling effect of the paraxanthine, so they never actually get to truly enjoy the euphoric benefit of caffeine. And so paraxanthine just gets straight to the source and allows you to enjoy the euphoric benefit of caffeine without all the extra drama and energy, the negative side effects. Me personally, caffeine's always agreed with me. I've never had an issue. It seems to stay in the body about the normal amount of half-life hours. I never have issues sleeping. I take it within 5 to 6 hours of bed. But so that's another thing too. If you're training in the evenings, paraxanthine might be something you might want to look into if you're having trouble sleeping at night. So all already, I'm like, this thing is very unique. And then we got a couple more. We got cognizine. This is a patented ingredient. Cognizine is not just like your regular choline. It's combined with this like cytidine, and the cytidine helps it cross the blood-brain barrier, almost kind of giving you like you actually feel the euphoric benefits with this cognizine versus just straight choline. And this, so obviously it helps cognition function, try to make this more of a euphoric pre-workout here. And then the next ingredient, we got another patent ingredient, CogniQ. Another helps increase brain function as well. So that is another, another nootropic type style benefit. And obviously, if this you're not going to hear any DMHAs, DMAs, things like that. This is wholly, very holistic pre and very science research based, and everything patented, FDA facilities, stuff like that. You can kind of tell, right? And then to wrap it all up, estrogen to help absorption. And this thing is 100% naturally flavored and sweetened. And like I said in the flavor review, pretty damn good. No issues with it whatsoever. But overall, like, coming into this review, looking at this label, I knew I wasn't going to get like my head blown off with energy and just being overwhelmed, smash your head through a brick wall style energy. I knew like what I was getting into, and I took the product. It's a very like that comes in within like 15. It's pretty quick, 15 to 20 minutes, and it's so subtle and so smooth. You almost don't really notice it being there, especially after taking some like high stim pre workouts. You're kind of left wondering like when's it kicking in, but then I'm training and I'm like, okay, I feel like a little bit of energy. It's kind of almost like a background noise of energy. It's nothing that overtakes you or like gets you like has you moving the weights all by yourself and feels like it's just flowing, but it's smooth. It's not overwhelming by any means. You're not going to get smacked and woken up from the dead. So definitely going to get a good sleep on this one. If you're training, if you're relying on stims to kind of get you through a workout when you've only slept a couple hours in the night. But it's definitely there. But the euphoric benefits of paraxanthine, that I doing my research, people were talking about how they wanted it just gives you like the swagger and like you feel unstoppable. I wouldn't go that far to say that, but it's definitely got an interesting energy addition. It's nothing like euphoric or crazy over the top, but it's like a nice subtle background noise is what I can compare it to of energy. But I got moving, I got lifting, I got this nice little background noise of energy. Nothing crazy over the top. I trained biceps one day, did triceps and back, or back and bis, and then triceps or something like that one day on it. But the thing that I really noticed was just the insane pump. I mean, once I broke down the ingredients, I'm like lifting and like it's just citrulline and glycerol, right? And then I look at this the label and the amila extract, and I'm like, okay, I'll do some research, and then the vascular dilation. So it made sense because I noticed I was like a lot more vascular than normally training arms with the ingredients such as citrulline and glycerol. And so that was really cool. I was blown away by the vascularity of the pumps and just the feel. And I wonder if the paraxanthine, it's got something to do with the vasodilation too, because I know some of those crazy stemmed up pre-workouts will actually hurt some of your pump. But I think with the paraxanthine, you're not going to have that as much. And another little fun fact on the paraxanthine is adrenal gland effect. It doesn't seem to have like additional damages to adrenal glands. So even if you're a stem junkie and like you see this review and you're like, oh man, this thing is some sort of hipster, trendy, like all natural ingredients and naturally flavor, nothing illicit in it. It's like this could be something that you can still throw in your arsenal for when you're taking a almost utilize it for like a stim break and help those adrenal glands not have any additional damages. But I didn't see if it actually like helps them repair, or if it just I just saw that in one of my videos I watched researching it by the main founder of the ingredient, that it didn't have any additional damage on the adrenal glands during the use of paraxanthine. So that's another little fun way to like sell this product to someone that like is a stim junkie and wants to take some insane, highly illicit stimulations. So where does this product fit? So this is an interesting one to kind of categorize and group. This pre-workout, this thing, like if this was a person, this is who you'd want your daughter to date. This baby, it's wholesome. It's got good ingredients, but it's also got a little bit of that swagger. It's something that you would you'd give to your high school kid playing football that wants to get into pre-workouts. That this is a good little pre for that. And we were looking for something for strict performance, or if you're a college athlete trying to find something that you can take that won't get you in trouble situation. So it's kind of like for that realm. And then for all you crazy stim junkies out there, it can also this is like the new stim break savior, I'd say. Like a lot of times if you're like me, when you have to take a stim break, it's like you almost feel like you're lifting without your body armor on. You almost feel naked in the gym, but you get yourself some BH2K with a little paraxanthine action, and maybe 1 week you, instead of doing like a full cold cut stim break, you do a BH2K week, and then maybe you save that a couple weeks later, you do that no stimulation whatsoever break for your pre-workouts. So this could just be another way to like utilize something else to kind of get you those adrenal glands a little rest. So you got two purposes for it. Overall, this one's tough to score because of the interesting ingredients, but like you got to give it for what it's got in it, like the nootropic effects and things like that. Like I'd say 8 on the nootropic style. A sense of urgency. The paraxanthine is very subtle in the background noise. You give it that thing like a 7.5. Euphoria, good vibes. Another like 8 out of 10. 7. This one's just so hard to score. Like I'll probably put this one when I'll put my graphic up for the video game style, but the bar is gonna be about 3/4 full for all the way down, except for flavor. I got to give these guys a 10 because they nailed it with not using any artificials at all and things like that. And that's always cool. You always feel a little bit better when you're drinking a product knowing that none of that's in there. But overall, is this one worth it? Should you give it a try? $60 for the list of ingredients. If you can, you probably can snatch this thing with at least find yourself a 10% discount out there. I think my discounts below get you 10 to 15. But yeah, I'd say so. Like it's something to keep in the arsenal and use for the stim break. So definitely give this one a try. And I've got a few people since I've been doing these reviews. I like to talk about pre's at gyms, and I've had there's a lot of people, a lot more than I thought, that like don't respond well to caffeine. And sometimes they get excited to talk about pre's because you see someone using like a brand or shaker bottle or wearing a shirt that is a sub brand, and you're like, oh dude, have you tried this pre-workout? And you're like, no, I don't take pre. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry for you. Like they don't respond well to it. And like you just feel like, oh man, you get so excited to talk about pre, and then they give you that. But it's like now I actually have something I can suggest to that individual that doesn't respond well to caffeine. So anyway, Gym Dad Fitness, like and subscribe. I might do the Pre-Kaged Elite review, and then at the very end of that one, do a comparison. But anyway, BH2K, pick this baby up, give it a try.